जी सराहनीय थे कोई।
Okay, in last class we discussed about linearity, right? And we said if we have signal x of t and if its Fourier transform is x of j omega, right? Then if we have another signal y of t, its Fourier transform is y of j omega. Then if you add these both signal, then the Fourier transform of these signal must be the summation of their spectrum, right? This is linearity. The second property was time shifting. We said that if we have x of t signal, its Fourier transform is x of j omega. Then if you shift this signal by t naught, then the Fourier the spectrum or frequency response must be e to the power minus j omega t naught x of j omega. We proved in last class. And then we said that if we have signal x of t, if its frequency domain is x of j omega, then the conjugate of that frequency spectrum x is equal to x of minus j omega, means omega domain inverted, right? And then we said if we the last property, number fourth property is differentiation. If we have x of t and its frequency response is x of j omega, then if you derivate this signal in time domain, that is equal to x of j omega times j omega, right? uh, if you see here, this x of j omega is multiplied with omega, right? So the amplitude spectrum is just multiplied with omega, and the phase is shifted by pi by 2. We can write j is equal to j pi by 2, right? Plus pi by 2 is shifted. Okay, so the fifth property in list was frequency scaling. Time or frequency scaling. We said that if we have a signal x of t and if its Fourier transform is x of j omega, then if you compress this signal by at, then the associated spectrum must be 1 over a x of j omega over a, right? We proved it as well. And now the sixth property in the list discussed was duality, right? In duality, we said the shape of the original signal. For example, if you go from time domain to frequency domain, for example, we talked about this rectangular pulse. In frequency spectrum, it was a sinc function, right? And then if there was a rectangular pulse in frequency domain, and when we found its inverse Fourier transform, then we again got a sinc. So the original shape of the signal is preserved in wherever if you either you find Fourier transform or inverse Fourier transform, does not matter, right? So this property of the shape of the signal is called duality property.
सर
आप इस तरह कह सकते हैं कि अगर आप टाइम को जितना कम प्रेस करेंगे फ्रीक्वेंसी स्पेक्ट्रम उतना बढ़ता जाएगा, ओमेगा और ए आ रहा है, देखें ना, सही है, तो सिग्नल फैलेगा. ओके, सो द सेवंथ प्रॉपर्टी वाज पार्सेवल रिलेशन. पार्सेवल relation. What Parseval relation states is, if you find the energy of the signal from minus infinity to infinity in frequency domain, right? In frequency domain, the power must be retained equally. The power must not be lost, right? If we have a signal which is energy bounded, that must in frequency domain that also must be energy bounded, and power and energy must be equal, right? because this frequency is divided by 2 pi, and we are calculating it in radian, so this is called power spectral density, right? Okay, the eighth property we discussed was convolution property, and this is very important. We will continue today with this property. We'll see how we can solve certain systems if we have convolution, if we have an LTI system, how to solve it, right? We said that if we have signal x of t with Fourier transform x of j omega, and for example h of t with Fourier transform h of j omega, for example, right? Then if you convolve these both signal in time domain, and we know this is the output of LTI system, we usually represent it with y of t. Then if you convolve signals in time domain, they are multiplied in frequency domain, and we proved this property in last class. If you have any confusion, you can go and check it out. Okay. After this property, we discussed about another property, that is integration. Yes, integration. And what does integration states this: if you integrate a signal from minus infinity to tau t x of tau d tau, then the Fourier transform for this must be x of j omega over j omega plus pi delta of omega x of 0, right? We proved this property in last class. Okay, so in today's class we will be discussing another property, that is called multiplication property. This is also very important property. This multiplication property is sometimes also called modulation property, right? Multiplication property, right? What does it states? For example, if we have a signal, for example, if we have signal x of t, if its Fourier transform we assume is x of j omega, and there is another signal, for example h of t, and its Fourier transform is h of j omega, right? Then if you multiply these signals in time domain, for example we have y of t, which is equal to x of t into multiply by h of t, right? Or I don't want to write these, because these we usually x of t is input and y of t is output, h of t is impulse response. You may confuse it. So instead I write, for example, s of t, and I drop j omega and just write x of omega, right? And if we have another signal p of t, for example, and if its Fourier transform is p of omega, then for example we have r of t, it is multiplication of these two signals, then associated Fourier transform must be 1 over 2 pi s of omega, this is s of omega convolution with p of omega, right? So multiplication in time domain is convolution in frequency domain, and convolution in time domain is multiplication in frequency domain. It is vice versa, right? So if we wish to solve it, for example, now if you want to find the frequency spectrum of r of t, then r of omega must be equals to integration from minus infinity to infinity, s of t p of t e to the power minus j omega t dt, right? If you compare this equation with Fourier transform, x of j omega is equal to integration from x of t e to the power minus j omega t dt, right? So these, if you see, these both values are now in, because I have dropped this j here, then we can write only x of omega, right? So because x of t, now we have r of t is equal to s of t into p of t. So I have write this like, okay. Now you know the, if you wish to find inverse Fourier transform, means if you have x of j omega and if you wish to compute x of t, that is equal to 1 over 2 pi summation x of omega e to the power plus j omega t d omega, right? Now if I represent this signal p of t in this way, then I can write that r of omega is equal to from minus infinity to infinity s of t 1 over 2 pi integration from minus infinity to infinity p of, now I don't want, because I have already used this omega for r of omega, then I want to replace this symbol with theta, for example phi r theta e to the power j phi, right, t and d phi times, now this signal is this one e to the power minus j omega t dt, right? Now for example, if you wish to only solve dt now, then you can see what are the terms which involve time. This x of t, s of t, e to the power j omega t, j phi t and e to the power minus j omega t. So if we rearrange the integrals, then we can get, and we can take this 1 over 2 pi outside because it's a constant, and p phi, right? Then we have integral from minus infinity to infinity, this integral also from minus infinity to infinity, right? S of t, right, e to the power minus j omega, because we have taken minus j as common, so this phi must be minus phi, right, t dt into d phi, right? Now we want to resolve this signal. What is this? For example, we say that s of phi is equals to integration s of t e to the power minus j phi t dt, right? Now for example, sorry, because I have used omega here, so I must use omega here as well. For example, this is another signal. This is equal to minus j omega t. This is also omega. So if you shift omega is equal to omega minus phi, means you are shifting the frequency, okay, frequency spectrum. So this s must be equal to omega minus phi, because this omega is whole shifted now. This must be equal to s of t e to the power minus j omega phi t dt. So this complete term can be written as s of shifted frequency response. So if you replace this whole term, you can see this term and this term are very same. That means this s of tau is s of t e to the power minus j omega t is actually the original s of omega, but shifted with pi, right? So rewriting this equation must be equal to 1 over 2 pi P of phi S of omega minus phi d phi, right? Now, if you compare this equation, this complete equation, what is this? If you remember, the y of t is equals to, what is y of t? Y of t x of tau for LTI system, h of tau d tau. Now compare this. This is for convolution, right? And you can see here that this is p phi. If you compare with tau, then you can see this. If this is for example one signal, then this signal is inverted and shifted, right? So this term is actually convolution of these two terms. So we can write it as 1 over 2 pi p of phi convolution with s of phi, right? So this is our we saw that we started with multiplication of two signals, and in spectrum what we end up is the convolution of those two signals, right? So this is called the uh, Fourier transform. We can say Fourier transform of s of t multiply with p of t is equal to 1 over 2 pi convolution of their spectrum. Okay, clear? Now we are coming back and we want to solve some questions related to these problems. Okay, so for example, if we have a signal, for example, we are given with a signal that, for example, the impulse response of the system is equal to t minus delta t, and we wish to compute now the output response, right? What should be the output? Now we know that if we multiply h, for example, if we wish to compute the output of the signal, then we have to convolve this with the impulse response, right? So this is the output of an LTI system, and convolving is a bit complex. So if you compute the Fourier transform of this signal, which is h of j omega e to the power j omega t dt, and if you find the spectrum of second signal, which is x of j omega, that must be equal to x of t e to the power minus j omega t dt, right? So once you are done with it, now this convolution must be replaced with multiplication, right? Then you multiply these two signals, and now finally what you can do is you can find inverse Fourier transform of y of j omega, and you get the output in time domain, right? So multiplication is a bit easy than convolving the signal in time domain. We saw it is, if it is continuous time signal, then it becomes very tedious task, right? So for example, if we have a system now, signal now, we wish to compute the output of this signal. That what would be the output of this signal? For example, h of t is t minus delta t, right? And if you compute h of j omega, we know it's a shifted signal, but I want to compute it again. H of t e to the power minus j omega t dt, right? Then h of j omega must be, what is x of t? T minus t naught e to the power minus j omega t dt, right? And we know this signal delta t minus t naught would be 1 when t is equal to t naught, right? So we can write h of j omega is equal to, from minus infinity to infinity, delta of 0 e to the power minus j omega naught t, sorry, j omega t naught minus j omega t naught. I must write here, when t is equal to t naught. Okay, so now this is a multiplication factor. We can write h of j omega is equal to, from minus infinity to infinity, uh, uh, delta of 0 e to the power, sorry, dt times multiply by e to the power j omega t naught. And we know the area under the curve of an impulse function is 1. So h of j omega is, so this must be equal to 1. So e to the power j omega t naught. We have proved this property earlier. So because now we know that impulse response of the system in frequency domain is this one, and the output of LTI system is equal to h of j omega times x of j omega, right, in frequency domain. So now we know this value. What is this value? This is e to the power j omega t naught x of j omega, right? So the output of this system is this thing, right? Now all we are left is with is we want to compute y of j omega. So if you see, y of t must be equal to 1 over 2 pi from minus infinity to infinity e to the power j omega t naught x of j omega e to the power j omega t d omega, sorry, not dt, d omega, right? So we can write it from minus infinity to infinity x of j omega e to the power j omega t minus t naught d omega, right? Now if you see, isn't it formula for x of t minus t naught? For example, by definition, x of t is equal to 1 over 2 pi integration from minus infinity to infinity x of j omega e to the power minus j omega plus j omega t d omega, right? And if you put t is equal to t minus t naught, then what you get? T minus t naught here, 1 over 2 pi x of j omega e to the power j omega t minus t naught d omega, right? If you see this equation and this equation are very much alike. So the y of t, the output response is x of t minus t, right? So this is the final answer. Means if we have a system h of t, if you input x of t and we have certain response, for example h of t is delta t minus t naught, then the output computed is shifted signal, input signal is shifted by t naught units, right? So this is the final answer, that output is this. For example, if we have another system, example number 2, if we have another system like this thing, and if we wish to compute the frequency spectrum, so for example h of t is d by dt. So whatever input is applied, it is derivated, right? So we know that for example, if we the associated frequency spectrum of this thing is x of j omega, right? And now our y of t is, what is our y of t? D by dt of x of t, right? And as far as frequency spectrum of this system is concerned, that must be equal to h of j omega x of j omega, right? And we know that derivative of, if we have x of t, if its Fourier transform is x of j omega, then derivative of x of t must be equal to j omega x of j omega. So input, so we can write x of j omega into, sorry, j omega into x of j omega. Now this is input. So what must this thing be? This must be the impulse response, right? So h of j omega in this equation is what? H of j omega is j omega. The signal is multiplied with associated frequency times there is e to the power j pi by 2 frequency shift, angle shift, right? For example, if we have an other system, what does it do? It do nothing, just integrate, right? So from one point we have x of t is given input, and this is h of t, and we wish to compute y of t, right? So we know that if the y of t must be equal to integration from minus infinity to tau x of tau d tau, right? And we can again write this equation as from 0 to tau 0 to t x of tau u of t minus tau d tau, right? So this is equal to x of t convolution with h of t, and now this, if you compare this h of t is u of t, right? So in last classes we discussed about what is u of j omega, that is equals to now because these two signals are convoluted in time domain, they must be multiplied in frequency domain. So y of j omega must be equal to x of j omega times h of j omega, and we know that u of h of t is a unit impulse function. The Fourier transform of unit impulse function we calculated in last class, which is equal to 1 over j omega plus pi delta omega, right? Now we have h of j omega here and x of j omega here, so the total output must be equal to x of j omega times 1 over j omega plus pi delta omega, right? Now if you multiply x of j omega with this whole term, then you get x of j omega by j omega plus pi delta of omega times x of, if you write j omega or x of 0, it is same, like, because we know that delta of omega is equal to 1 when omega is equal to 0, right? Otherwise it's 0. So if you put omega equal to 0 here, then you get x of 0. So this is output of the another signal. Okay, very much clear, I think. It's very easy. Now the last example, which is very important. For example, we have a system, we apply input and calculate output. We say that input is x of t and impulse response is h of t and output is y of t, right? And x of t is e to the power minus at u of t, and impulse response is e to the power minus bt u of t, and we know the output of LTI system is convolution of impulse response with input. Now, if you wish to convolve these two signals, it would be very complex. But we know that now we have another way around that. If we find the spectrum of this signal and spectrum of this signal, then output is y of j omega is multiplication of these two signals. So multiplication is a bit easy than convolution, right? It depends on the types of signals. Some signals are easily convolved and some signals are easily multiplied. So in this way, if you convolve these two signals, it would be very complex. But if you wish to compute the spectrum of these both signal, impulse response spectrum and input spectrum, and you just multiply them, you get the output and find inverse Fourier transform, then you get y of t, right? So in last, if you find inverse Fourier transform of y of j omega, that would be equal to y of t, right? So Fourier transform of, for example, input signal, we know that this must be equal to e to the power minus at e to the power minus j omega t dt. Now I am not writing the formula, I am writing it directly, and this u of t is, because u of t was multiplied, so this must be equal to 0 to infinity. We have solved this many times, so if you want to see how it is solved, you can check previous classes. This must be equal to a plus j omega, right? So x of j omega is this signal, and then Fourier transform of h of t is e to the power minus j b plus j omega t dt, and finally h of j omega is equal to 1 upon b plus j omega, right? So once we have x of j omega and h of j omega, now y of j omega is very easy to solve. Y of j omega is multiplication of these two signals, so we can write it as a plus j omega into b plus j, right? This is the output of this system in frequency domain, right? Now we need y of t as stated earlier. So one way is to solve this integral, and solving this integral can be cumbersome. So we want to solve this in this spectrum using we have in the if you see OpenAIM book in chapter number 4, you see there is a table available in the end of the chapter, and you see there are some known transformations available. So all you need is just to convert this signal into one of those signal and just directly find the inverse. So one way is to, if we write this signal is 1 over j omega and b plus b over j omega. So if you see in the table, for example, it is clearly stated there, for example, e to the power minus at u of t is Fourier transform is stated there, that is equal to 1 upon a plus j omega, and Fourier transform of sine, cosine, all such type of popular transforms are available there, right? Popular transform of the particular signals, Fourier transform of the particular signals is available. So I wish to compute in this way. This is called partial fraction sum, right? So if we know the value of this a and b, then we can directly use this formula, right? So can I write this as it is still y of j omega. We haven't computed inverse. Still I don't know, sometime it starts hanging. Okay. So I can write it y of j omega or value of this. Come on. This is 1 upon a plus j omega and b plus j omega. If you solve this, what you get a into b plus j omega, right, plus b into a plus j omega whole upon a plus j omega times b plus j omega, and this is equal to 1 upon a plus j omega and b plus j omega, right? Now these two cancels out each other, right? And what we are left with is 1 is equal to, and now if we solve it, ab plus a j omega plus b a plus b j omega. Now comparing coefficients, compare coefficients, then ab plus ba is equals to 1, right? This is equal to 1. So and a plus b times j omega is equal to 0. So a is equals to minus b, right? Now if you put value of a in first equation, in this equation, then you get minus b times b plus b times a is equals to 1, right? Now if you take b common from here, then you get b is equals b times a minus b is equal to 1, that is equal to 1 upon a minus b, right? Okay, and substitute this value, substitute value of b in this first equation, then what you get, a is equal to b minus a, right? Because if you multiply minus here, then a would be minus and b would be plus, right? So now we know the value of b and we know the value of a, so we want to substitute this value in the partial fraction, right, here. The value of a here, the value of b here, right? So the final equation must be 1 upon b minus a times 1 upon a plus j omega. So I can also write minus 1 upon b minus a, 1 upon b plus j omega, right? Because now if this is b, right, so b was equal to 1 upon a minus b. If you multiply minus with that, then you get 1 upon b minus a. So because I want to take this term as a common, so I multiplied second signal with minus. So I can write this now as 1 upon b minus a, 1 upon a plus j omega minus 1 upon b plus j omega. Now we know we have transformed this type of signal. So the inverse Fourier transform of this signal must be equal to e to the power minus at u of t, right? Minus, now Fourier transform of this must be, if this is this signal is, if b is not equal to a, then this must be equal to e to the power minus bt q of t. So y of t is equal to this 1 upon b minus a when b is not equal to a. If a and b are equal, if in case b and a would have been equal, then overall y of j omega must have been 1 upon a plus j omega whole square, right? Because earlier a plus j omega and b plus j omega are multiplied. So if a and b are both equal, then this would be this value. So the overall output would have been t times e to the power minus 80 u of t, right? You can check these properties. These properties are available at the end of the chapter when I don't know in last class when a is equal to b. So what you can do is, for example, inverse Fourier transform is equal to this when a is equal to b. When a is not equal to b, then output is this way. Okay, so we stop here. In the coming class, we will discussing a popular transform that is called discrete Fourier transform. It is used for discrete time signal, and in this transform we can also compute frequency spectrum of aperiodic signals as well, right? So discrete Fourier series was only used to compute the frequency components for only periodic signals, but discrete Fourier transform, or this is also called DTFT, discrete time Fourier transform, right? Discrete time Fourier transform. It can also help us to find the frequency spectrum of aperiodic signals as well. So I stop it here.